One of the first things you'll notice when you open up Camera Raw in Photoshop CS5 is that when you open an image that you previously worked on an early version of Photoshop. So let's say you worked on it in Photoshop CS3 or Photoshop CS4, either one of those, or even earlier than that, hopefully not earlier than that, but anything before CS5, you're going to see this little warning down here in the corner here, this little exclamation point. What that's telling you is that you're kind of looking at an outdated process of Camera Raw, because the process that they've been using for things like noise reduction has been back since 2003. So in fact, if you were to go to the camera calibration tab right up here, those little tabs, it says the process you're using is the 2003 process, which was fine, but now they've come up with something much better, much more powerful. So what you want to use is the current version, which is process 2010. But so why would Adobe not just change you to this better, more enhanced version? Well, if you have the file looking exactly like you like it, and then you open it up in Photoshop CS5 and then all of a sudden it changes it, you might be like, oh, well, I didn't want that. So this kind of just gives you the option. In most cases, though, I think you're going to want to update. Now, let me tell you what parts it affects. It affects noise reduction, it affects sharpening, and post-crop vignetting. So those are the three areas. So if you didn't apply noise reduction, which is a little bit's on by default, and sharpening, a little bit's on by default, by the way, or post-crop vignetting, you probably won't notice much a difference. But if you've applied these things, you'll notice quite a bit. Let's zoom in on this photo here, taken at 1600 ISO, and you can see there's lots of noise. I mean, even with the noise reduction and stuff that we applied in the old version, there's still lots of junk there. So it's not good. Now, so you have two choices. You can either go to the camera calibration panel and actually choose 2010, which is the current process method. Take a look, watch as I choose it, and watch the image too, watch. See how it changed? Did you see that? Let me do a before and after here. So there's 2003, and give it a second, and there's 2010. Do you notice the difference? I mean, it's pretty dramatic. Look at all the color spots and junk up here that just go away when you choose the new one. You'll also notice the warning went away. So here's the good news. You do not have to go to this camera calibration panel to do this. Let's undo it. You can just, when you open it up and you see that warning actually itself is a shortcut. So to switch to the 2010 version, you just click, and in a moment it switches you to the 2010, which is much, much enhanced. And we'll talk about that a little bit later because we're having a little special section at the end for some other things like this. But you need to know right off the bat what that warning means and why you might want to click it. Now, what if you have hundreds of photos that you want to edit? Well, you can do that. You open up all 100, select them all, 100, 200, however many, you select them all, and they'll appear over here in a film strip. You'll click on select all, so they're all selected, and then just click that, and it will change them all at once. So that's just in case you want to do a whole bunch of them. The most important thing to know now is Camera Raw 6, which is in CS5, is got a much enhanced version of those things, the sharpening, the post-crop vignetting, and the noise reduction. And if you've applied those, a better version is just one click away.